Hello everyone, this is Chuck Benton. I am your instructor for general anatomy and physiology. In this short video, I am going to cover the assignments that need to be completed prior to our first day of class, which will be Wednesday, January 20th. This is the Blackboard site. When you come into Blackboard, you'll always enter on the announcements page. You'll know it's the announcements page because you'll see a banner at the top and then you'll see an announcement down here. On the left here, this is the main menu of Blackboard. So whenever I refer to the main menu of Blackboard, I'm referring to this. I want to draw your attention to the weekly module Start Here tab. This is where you'll access all of the online content for the class. The only exception would be your quizzes and exams, which will be found here. We're going to click here in order to access the different assignments that you need to have completed prior to the first live session on Wednesday. So I'm going to click on that and you'll see three folders. The first folder is Preparing for Success in General A&P Part 1 of 2. The second is Preparing for Success in General A&P Part 2 of 2. The content that you'll find in these two folders you'll need to complete prior to our first day of class, or I should say our first live session, which is Wednesday. Technically, class begins on Tuesday. In addition to what's found in these two folders, you'll need to complete your first online lab, which will be found in the week 1 folder, which I'll show you in just a moment. So first, let's go into the Preparing for Success in General A&P Part 1 of 2. Here you'll have the syllabus. Please read your syllabus, write down any questions you have, and bring them to class on Wednesday. I provide the syllabus as both a doc and a PDF file. And for the most part, every document that I provide to you will be in a PDF and a doc because some students prefer PDF, some students prefer a Microsoft Word file. Here's a link to the bookstore so you can order your books. I'll be using Quizlet to help you learn the material for lab. So you'll see instructions here on how to sign up for Quizlet and how specifically to gain access to the General A&P Quizlet class. And by the way, this is completely free. It doesn't cost any money to sign up. I encourage you to sign up for text message reminders. If you do, whenever there is a quiz or assignment that is due, you'll get a text message reminder at 5 p.m. that day letting you know that that quiz or exam or assignment is going to close that night at midnight. Next, I want you to use Flipgrid to introduce yourself to the class. Let me scroll down here. You'll see. And I did a little introduction myself as an example. All the directions on how to go about doing this are here. So that's the content of Preparing for Success General A&P Part 1 of 2 folder. Let's go back. Here's the second folder. So the content of the class will be delivered by YouTube videos. So what I provide to you is a lesson outline, and I'll go over this in class on Monday, but basically the lesson outline lists all the learning objectives for a given chapter. I also provide you with the slides for that chapter. And then here you'll actually see the screencast, which is an online lecture. What you should do is, before you watch an online lecture, read the relevant pages in the book, read the learning objectives on the lesson outline, then watch the screencast, and then after the screencast, there are these self-tests that allows you to determine if you understood and achieved the learning objectives. I'll talk more about this in class, but note these self-tests are graded, well, they're scored but they're not graded. In other words, it does not affect your grade in any way. This is just a way for you to know, hey, did you understand? Did you learn or understand what you were supposed to in this screencast? Okay, so complete that one lecture, online lecture prior to class on Wednesday. Okay, so that's Preparing for Success in General A&P, part 2 of 2. Now let's go to week 1. So for every week of class, you'll have a folder. So for week 1, it's the week 1 folder, and you'll see each day of the week there. Now we don't meet on Monday, so the week starts on Tuesday, and your labs are technically will be on Tuesday, although you can always do them on a different day. But we meet on Wednesday, and the expectation is you have completed your first lab prior to class on Wednesday. So let's go into this Tuesday folder. Your study guide will be here. Your study guide lists everything that you're responsible for that lab. I tell students, if it's on the study guide, you're responsible for knowing it. If it's not on the study guide, you don't have to know it. Okay, so stick to the study guide. It tells you everything you need to know. So that's the study guide. You should have your lab manuals, but if you haven't had a chance to obtain your lab manuals, this is a digital copy of the chapters from your lab manual that are covered in the first lab. Here's the actual lab. So when you click on that link, it'll take you to the actual online lab. Just go systematically through the lab, the online lab, starting with the first page and then moving to the next page. This video will actually show you how to complete each lab, but for the most part, while I have you here, what you'll be doing is this. You'll be directed to read a certain part of your lab manual, then watch a short video, and I always provide you with the length of the video so you can plan and schedule accordingly. And then after you watch that video, typically you'll be completing a learning activity that's going to reinforce what you were introduced to in the video. Okay, so that's pretty much how lab is going to go each week. So in a nutshell, that's what you should have completed prior to class on Wednesday. Again, all the items in Preparing for Success in General A&P 1 of 2, all the items in Preparing for Success in General A&P 2 of 2, and the first lab. I estimate that all of this will take approximately probably about 3 hours of work. The lab itself, give yourself 2 hours, although it probably will not take that long. And then the other components are going to take about 1 hour and 6 minutes. Okay, so I will see you online, and I will see you in class on Tuesday.